Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about more knives. This is something you're interested in? Stick around for a second. Okay guys, so today we're talking about knives, in particular Mora knives. Now, for those of you who do not know, Morakniv is a blade manufacturing company that is based out of Sweden. They make high quality knives along the lines of, so I would say K-Bar, Becker, Buck, Gerber, somewhere around in there. But the difference is that it does not have a very hefty price tag to it. So today we're going to take a look at a Morakniv and see what makes this knife so good. All right, guys, so one of the first things we'll talk about is that this is just a very utilitarian knife, okay? It's a good all-around knife. This is by no means what they would call tactical or whatever. So if you're, looking for something that, looks badass or whatever, this is not the knife for you. But if you just want something that's going to be a jack of all trades, this is a perfect thing that you need to be looking at. Now, it's got a rubber handle on it. It's TPE. Which means it's going to work well in just about any kind of weather environment. Very much no slip. All this is a nice grippy rubber, and it also has finger guards on both ends. So once you got the knife in your hand, it's not going to come out for any reason whatsoever unless you just let go of it. It's also very easy to use with gloves on. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say like with thick, slick gloves, but stuff like dive gloves. As a matter of fact, it very much reminds me of a dive knife. Now, the case is made out of a hard, durable plastic, and the knife will slide in there and actually lock in with just a gentle push. Something else that's pretty interesting about this case is these quick connect clips on here. On both sides, and what that does is it allows other Mora knives to clip onto the front of the case. So if you have a smaller knife, something like that, or you just want to keep them organized, it'll let you connect them and keep them all together. That's something I've never seen on any other knife case besides Mora. Okay, so we could talk about measurements for a second. So this knife itself is about 8¼ inches and weighs in at 4 ounces or 115 grams. So whether this thing's on your hip or it's inside of your pack, you're not going to know it's there until you need it. All right, so let's talk about this blade for a second. So this is a 3.6-inch blade. It's made out of Sandvik stainless steel, which is very similar to 440 stainless steel. It comes from the factory, razor sharp, and it will hold its edge even after a lot of use and abuse, as long as you're not trying to do something ridiculous with it. You're not trying to cut a brick in half. Should be just fine. Now, there is an Achilles heel to this blade, and I think it's indicative to a lot of Mora knives because I've heard the same thing about this blade. And it's not a deal breaker, it's just something you should be aware of. The spine of this knife is unfinished. Now, I don't know if they do this on their knives to make it to where you have a rough edge, so maybe you could use a fire starter like a ferrite rod or something like that. But it makes the knife prone to rust in these areas. Now, it's not prone to rust real fast, but over time, if it's left in a very humid area or exposed to water for an extended period of time, you can start to get a little bit of pitting that'll work its way through the finish. So just keep that in mind if you have one of these, that every once in a while you do need to take it out and just inspect the back half of the blade and make sure that it's not starting to get rust in there. Guys, overall, this is a fantastic knife. And I'd say it's probably one of the most unknown high-quality knives on the market, or at least in the United States. With the build quality, the ergonomics, the low price, I'd say that if you're looking for a knife, before you go and drop a load of cash on one of the really big name brands, take a look at a Mora first and save some money. All right, guys. Well, that about wraps up this video. I'd like to know your thoughts on what you think of Morakniv. Please feel free to leave it in the comments section, or if there's another manufacturer out there that you prefer, I'd like to hear about that also. Either way, this is Patrick from Uncle Bill's Camping. Thank you for taking the time to look at my video, and I will see you guys the next time around. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, feel free to give me a like or hit that subscribe button to show your appreciation. You can also find more of my content at UncleBillsCamping.com, Pinterest, Twitter, Minds, Reddit, YouTube, BitChute, Steemit, and DTube. And from Uncle Bill's Camping, this is Patrick saying thank you for supporting my channel and watching my videos.